Good evening, Mr. Joya, members of the board, faculty and staff, the student body, friends and family, and finally the class of 2023. 2023. I remember looking at my first grade picture as a 7-year-old, seeing a little caption at the bottom that read, Class of 2023. I didn't think that year would ever arrive, but here we are, in that very year. As the school year came to an end, I decided that it was finally time to remove the torn up binders and unfinished homeworks and never opened textbooks that were cluttering my desk, and for the first time in my MBA career, I organized it. After an hour of moving these binders and homeworks and textbooks from my desk to a slightly more out-of-sight place on the floor of my closet, I realized that I actually much preferred my desk before the cleanup, and that the empty space was very off-putting. In a desperate attempt to rectify the situation, I found whatever I could to decorate it. I found a scarf my uncle had given me 9 years ago, folded it, and placed it across the corner of my desk. I pulled a card out of my backpack that Miss Ellery had given to me to celebrate my completing Latin at MBA, and began to line the back edge with similar items. Digging through the shelf in my closet of items and pictures I had not seen in years, I stumbled across a picture from 2012. It was a picture of my final class in France, signed around the border of the frame by each of my then 7-year-old friends. It was amazing how, despite leaving over 10 years ago, I could match every signature to a face and remember some of the memories we shared. I recall going to the house of one of my best friends, who happened to be the son of the ambassador of Oman to France, and realizing that he was, in fact, very rich. It turns out that I had actually gone to the Omani embassy just to play with my friends. I also remember slipping on a wet drainage grate and essentially removing all the skin from my knee, thinking I would die from blood loss, but that is now a weekly occurrence on the NBA soccer field. I truly believe that it's the small moments we had together at MBA that we'll remember forever. Whether it be my daily routine of sitting outside my advisory every morning and Miss Hackney greeting me at 7:20 until I became a second semester senior and arriving at 7:50 was the norm, or singing along to Industry Baby, the clean version of course, with the soccer team on the way back from a season-defining away win, or frantically looking up Great Expectations, important quotations during the lunch period before the test after only barely skimming the book. It's these feelings of stress and relief and joy that motivated us through MBA. But I do understand that the difficult moments define our time together as much as the positive ones. For me, that difficult moment came when my best friend of 3 years, Alex Wang, left for Texas at the end of our freshman year. That was the beginning of COVID, 3 years ago. I didn't even get to say goodbye to him in person. In fact, since that email telling us we'd have a 2-week break, I didn't get to see him until earlier this week, where we discovered that despite going to college halfway around the world, we'd be within an hour of each other in England. Losing him quickly changed my approach to MBA, trying to expand my fairly narrow circle of friends, partly out of fear of losing any more of them. In doing so, I've realized what I was missing. I was friends with a group of amazing people, but I found so many more once I broadened my horizons and started to get to know more of you. Class of 2023, you are a group of amazing people. Remember that each of you is part of this group, bound by our shared experiences. Even those of you whom I regrettably did not get to know as well, know that in 5, 10, 20 years, we can still reminisce about the time we spent together on the Hill. As you go through college and the rest of your life, get to know as many people as you can who share your values and are too amazing people. As we go our separate ways, know that in time, our paths will cross again. One place where I found this connection was the soccer team. Sophomore year had been a struggle for me, and being placed on the JV team in a year I thought I could push for a varsity spot didn't help. But with a bit of hard work and mostly confidence in myself, I forced my way onto varsity. Initially, this jump was an intimidating atmosphere for me, with the team consisting of 11 seniors, 7 juniors, and Hogan. For a timid sophomore like myself, this experience was terrifying. The seniors on that team were a solid group, and a couple of them noticed I was really struggling and pulled me along, even managing to start a couple games by the end of the season. I'll be forever grateful to those guys for the way they made me feel like a part of that team. And that has been our job as role models for the past year. I've heard nothing but positive stories from the underclassmen about the powerful senior leadership. And this year, I hope that I have fulfilled that duty as a senior on the soccer team of making everyone feel welcomed and loved. We knew we had a young team this year, and however well we were playing, we knew that to win a state championship, we would have to beat teams with far more experience than we had. The team we beat in the semifinal, favorites for the entire year, had 10 seniors with 8 committed to playing college. We had 7, 1 playing in college. Talent did not get us through that game. It was a belief in each other, a belief in what we were doing, and a willingness to do everything we could to come together that won us that game. But the feeling of winning the state championship, the celebrations on the field with each other and the fans, the dancing on the bus ride home, those are the memories that we will cherish forever. Being an athlete as well as a student at MBA and part of this class of 2023 has been a privilege. Every senior who played a sport or participated on a team like mock trial or debate this year knows the emotions that have guided us along this journey. Being the leaders of those teams whose previous leaders we have admired and looked up to reminds us daily of what a special time in our lives this has been. Class of 2023, remember what has made your MBA journey so special. Remember to thank the amazing people around you who have guided you and nurtured you, your teachers, coaches, advisors, family, and friends. And consider how you will use what you've learned in your time here in your future. Thank you.
Where's Alex going to school? We congratulate you, Henry Pitt, on earning the distinction of valedictorian for the class of 2023. Henry, you have loved and relished your time at MBA by making a difference in all of your classes, excelling in Latin, and earning a starting position on our state championship soccer team. I enjoyed watching you play on the team and appreciated the sense of community you helped forge through your sense of team and pride in being at MBA. I look forward to hearing about your adventures in England as you read mathematics at Christ Church College at Oxford University next year. We proudly recognize you, Henry, as the valedictorian of the class of 2023. Congratulations. Here you go.